Hey guys, so today I am going to show you guys how I start my tomato seeds for my spring summer garden of 2024. Look at all the pretty colors and textures, you guys, but I am so busy right now taking care of so many seedlings. I counted the other day, I have 749 plus seedlings that I'm taking care of. But for zone 6B, you want to start your seeds for tomatoes in mid to end of March. The later in March, the better, because tomatoes grow very fast. Okay. And also, here's a fun fact. There are over 5,000 different varieties of tomatoes. Everything you see in this picture, in these intro videos, those are all tomatoes. Just different types of tomatoes, different types of cherries, different types of beefsteak, different textures, and different uses for all those tomatoes. So I went ahead and got another block of my cocoa core. I'll have the link down below in the description box, and wet this with boiling hot water, let it cool down, and then added my perlite. When you do use perlite, I suggest when you open the bag, add a good amount of water in there to hydrate it or soak it, because it can get very dusty and you don't want to breathe in dusty perlite, okay? A lot of people don't know what perlite is made of, but if you're wondering what perlite is, it's made of volcanic glass that's heated to, I believe, 1,000 degrees until it pops like popcorn. It is not styrofoam. I can understand how some people would assume it's like styrofoam bits because it's so lightweight, but it is just volcanic glass that has been heated up so hot to 1,000 degrees that it pops like popcorn, and it makes it like super light and airy, which also keeps the soil light and airy, which is very beneficial to starting seedlings. You want the soil to be light and fluffy. You don't want it to be too dense. This makes it much easier for the roots to develop, for the seedlings to sprout, so they don't have to work too hard to push their way out of the soil. Okay, so this is how my trays will look. The trays I use, I have them in my description box, links to them. They come in green and black. I got that from the dollar store. Very handy. I highly recommend you get one for your space, your grow area, grow room, even your garden, so you can know what the temps are. So for seeds, basically what I do is I will sow about 3 to 6 seeds per cell. Some people do 2. That is completely fine. If you are just now starting out, I suggest you just do 2. I do that many because I do grow plants mostly for myself, but I do give away my extras to my garden students, aka my friends, who I've convinced to start gardens, and now they have the garden bug, and you know, they're all in it. They're all in it, but a lot of them don't have the space or the time or patience like I have to start seeds. So I start a lot at once, and when they're about a certain age, I will separate them. I will do another video on how I separate them and how I pot them up. All right, and like I said, tomatoes come in so many varieties, over 5,000 varieties. And in this lifetime, I will try my best to grow a couple hundred of them or more if I can. Okay, but as you guys could see, super easy to do. I make the holes about 1/4 inch deep. You don't want it any deeper than that, okay? The depth of the hole should be similar to the size of the seed. So if the seed is 1 inch, the seed has to go down 1 inch. If the seed is about 1/4 inch, the seed goes down 1/4 inch. If the seed is way smaller than 1/4 inch, it looks like sand, that's when you top sow. You sprinkle it on the top of the soil and you water it in, okay? Because there's no way you're going to make a hole for a seed that looks like a grain of sand, okay? So very easy to do, not complicated at all. And like I said, if you are just now starting out, I suggest you do 2 seeds per cell, maybe 3. If you're feeling bold, do 4. But if you're not too accustomed to separating seedlings, you may lose 1 or 2, but you know, I'm accustomed to doing it. But I think in time of you growing your own food, growing your own tomatoes, you will get used to it eventually and figure out how to separate them without causing too much transplant shock. I don't really get a lot of transplant shock when I separate my seedlings. I know a lot of people like to use water when they separate their seedlings to wash the soil off, but that for me is just wasting soil. And, you know, some people are like, well, you could use the water to water plants, but I do not water my indoor plants with soil, with water with soil in it. And that would mean I have to go outside. It's cold outside. I'm not trying to go out there. Okay, so I basically just gently take them apart. I will untangle their root systems and pull them apart and pot them up right away in moist soil. Okay. So as you guys could see, I'm showing you some of the different varieties that I'm growing. Just some. This is just a handful. I think I did either 70 to 80 varieties. I can't remember. Okay, for my sand. So because tomato seedlings are a little bit more on the delicate side, they're not like peppers. They're not as tough as peppers when they first pop out. I sifted my sand. In this case, you can use the play sand, but I sifted the sand that I have because it has a couple of rough bits in there. So I sifted it. You can just use the sift over the container, or you could sift it and put it in a container separately. But if you do it over the container, it's going to get dusty. So I just put it in a separate container and just sprinkle it on top. So it wasn't too heavy for the seedlings to break through. And it's just a very thin layer. It is less than a quarter inch. It's probably like 1/8 of an inch. Probably even less than that. It's just thin enough to cover the soil. And yes, this will help keep the fungus gnats away from the seedlings, even this thin layer. Okay. And this is also just for the beginning stage of these tomatoes life. Okay, so you don't need a heavy thick layer. So once I have my trays filled with soil, my seeds are in the soil, my sand is on it, I will add about 1 inch of water in the bottom part of the tray and put my cells back in there and cover it with the vents closed. Put the humidity dome back over there and cover it. Well, close the vents. Okay, you want the humidity high in there. You want it like tropical conditions. This will help the seedlings sprout much faster, especially for me in zone 6B, where, you know, I don't have a super long growing period. So a lot of my seeds I start in the winter months and early spring. So for me, I start tomatoes in March. Peppers, I will start in December or January, depending on the variety. If it's a super hot variety, it will be started in December. If it's a sweet variety, it can be started in February. Sweet varieties grow much faster than the super hots, okay? But in about 4 to 5 days, you're going to start seeing some life in your cells, okay? You're going to start seeing them popping up, and they're going to be like this. You don't need to help them. You do not need to help them, okay? I know some people have the urge to want to help them get out of the soil. They can do it themselves. So long as you keep the dome over them for at least to where I would say 70 to 80% of them have popped up, then you can remove the dome. But keep the dome, the humidity dome, with the vents closed on them until about 70 to 80% of the seedlings have popped up. Okay, and then you can take it off. But they do need the moisture and the humidity in there for them to come up out of the soil and for them to get rid of their seed shell, basically. All right. So the first set of leaves that you see on your seedling, those are not true leaves. Those are going to be the leaves that will feed the plant as it grows. Okay. So the true leaf will eventually show up in about a week or so, and I'll show you what that looks like. But these first set of little leaves, those are not your true leaves. Those are your baby leaves. They're there to provide nutrition eventually. The first bit of nutrition, at least. Okay. But as you guys could see, there's quite a few different varieties here. Some Lemon Boy, some Burentinos, some Cherokee Purple, some Black Beauty, Oxheart, Golden Jubilee, Gold Nugget, just so many varieties. And this is about a week and a half to 2 weeks later. You guys, look at how big they have gotten. Tomatoes grow very quickly, so you don't want to start these too early. I know it could be tempting, especially if you're in a colder area. You think if you start earlier that, you know, you'll be good, but tomatoes grow very quickly. So try your best to start in the mid till the end of March if you are in zone 6A, 6B, okay? So you see that triangular, well, not triangular, that funny looking leaf in the middle? You see a lot of them are starting to get leaves right in the center between those two baby leaves. Those are the true leaves. So the leaf that has the ridges on them, you know, they're not like smooth, they have ridges on them. That is the first set of true leaves. So I'm going to wait just maybe a week more, and I will start feeding them nutrient water, the water soluble nutrients that I feed my peppers. I have a video on that, so please check the playlist, the description bar, and the comment section to see what I feed my plants. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like the video, comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye guys.